I want us to look at gold trade and see what price has been doing. And real quick, I'm just going to start off the H4 time frame, because I think I don't need to go to the daily time frame. I think daily is way too bullish, and we need to concentrate on this retracement right here, what price has been doing since Tuesday. Yeah, so today is Thursday basically, and let's just see what price has for us. Right now, today I'm going to do something different. I'm that trend guy, but then I'm going to incorporate trendline, SMC, ICT, for those who trade also ICT or SMC, right? So today I got you, right? So real quick, I say, if you don't see another other picture or perspective, try to flip your screen and understand, right? So yeah, that is what I just did. Just flip my screen. So what am I looking for? Basically, I'm going to start from this level right here, and why I think that's an order block zone, and probably I can call that as an impulse. You understand? I can call that level as an impulse, and just try to lock that, and call this right here. I think this is where the retracement started from, so I might call that as a pullback, and let's just have it as a pullback or a correction. So that's like 100%, right? Now, if you look to the left side, we had this level right here. We also had a very good order block zone right here, correct? And I think that is where we've seen gold basically went and started playing around that level, right? Remember, today, like I said, I'm trying to incorporate SMC, ICT, but then remember guys, I'm not all about theories, right? So I'm not going to show you, or I'm not going to talk about, oh, this is an order block, this is a fair value gap, this is waiting for the market to grab liquidity, this is a break of structure, BOS, this is short, or change of character. I don't want to confuse you guys with the too much theories. I'm just going to do real market analysis, right, for you guys to see. Right now, over here, like I say, this was a very good zone right there, and you see we had market or bulls coming in. Remember, I've flipped my screen, right? So let me just flip it back. So that's how the market looked basically in a normal perspective. So I'll take it back right there. Good. Now look at this. If you see, we've seen like we have bulls pressure. Remember, the screen is flipped, guys. Bulls were around this level. So my anticipation is I want to see this right there. I want to see market reaction. If you've been watching my videos, my previous videos long enough, you heard me saying most of the time, just understand how price is approaching key levels. What do I mean by key level? Those levels that you've marked. So let me just adjust this level right here, right? So yeah, that is what I say. Understand how price is approaching your key level, right? Now let's just flip it right there. Now if you look at what price did yesterday, I believe we also had this zone right here. So let's just take care of this level too, or I think we should mark this right there, something like this. And now what next? I'll flip it back right there. So what is price doing? Now, to my understanding, we've seen that the market created a new zone right here. Remember, this is gold trade, guys, and now we're just trying to follow along what price has been doing. I can remove this because that's a new low or a new high. The screen is flipped, right? So to my understanding, all I see is that gold went probably creating a double bottom. Remember, the screen is flipped, amigos, right? That's a double bottom right there. Gold created a double bottom right here, and now we need to understand what price is doing, right? So because gold gave us a double bottom, let's just have this right here. Today I told you guys I'm incorporating your ICT and SMC type of strategy right there. So that is an order block. Like I say, I don't want to talk about theories, I don't want to talk about names, right? I just want to make things so simple for you guys to understand. So that is what we have. Now I'll go to the 15 and see what price doing. Good. Now you've seen we've seen price giving us a very good impulse phase, and now some correction, right? Good. Now I said we are incorporating ICT SMC with a trend line. So now here comes a time to add a trend right there. Good. Right there. So we have our trend line. Right, so right now we need to understand what price is doing, since we've seen the market gave us a good amazing trend. Now remember, we still have this level. Let's not forget about this zone right here. We still have this zone right there, so let's just mark it right there. Good. Now for a good confirmation, I need to see maybe gold pushes up, then takes out this level right here. The moment it takes out that level, understand how price is going to go back to retest this level. Like I say, understand how price approaches your key levels. Then now boom, and I think that's a good sign for me to look for my entry property. That is, if she behaves in this manner, correct? If she behaves in that manner, then that tells me that okay, she will be ready to go all the way up, right? So that is all I see on gold. I want to see gold, how she's going to behave around that level, and once I see my market anticipation, then boom, I'm going in. Now at the same time, let's not forget about this trend right here. We've seen high, high low, price is broken, right? So we have a new trend right there. So I think that makes sense. So like I said before, I want to see gold breaking out of this level right here. Let's just bring it back. Gold breaks out of that level, then now comes back to give us our third touch right there. Then see the reaction or around this level based on that third touch. And once I get my confirmation, then I think that's going to be a good sign to go in for longs. That is now based on longs perspective. But let's talk about bears. Who knows? Because this might be just an impulse phase. Then the market comes back to give us a continuation. Then boom, right? So what should we look out for? Like I said before, this trend line now has to be key. First touch, second touch. Now on the third touch, we need to see an approach. Understand that approach. What do I mean? If price goes up just as we anticipate, then now she drops, comes back on our third touch, then start to behave in this manner. That's a bearish continuation. That tells us that gold will go back, right? So those are the two things. Let's just bring in this right there and things right here, right? So these are the two things I'm looking out for around this level right here. If I don't see them, then I'm not going to take that gold trade. So with that, let's talk about maybe GBPUSD. Let's delete this. GBPUSD. Where are you? GBPUSD ready. I think I'll start from H4 or even maybe or even daily, if that's okay. Let's see what the daily has for us, right? Good. Now I'll zoom out basically right there, and generally all I see is boom, that's upward movement, right? And like I said before, today is all about adding those zones, and based on your ICT SMC thing. So where did we have our moves? Basically we had this level right there as our major impulse zone. You guys might call it order block, but then I just want to be simple for many people to understand. You guys, ICT and SMC have so much terminology, right? So I don't want you guys to get confused. So I think this is like 50% retracement, so we might call it maybe around retracement, like 50%, something like that. So yeah, so we had that, and the market dropped, then came back to retrace. Right now, let's now add more trends. Like I say, guys, we are incorporating ICT, SMC, and trend line. Remember, this is still based on the daily time frame. So we had that. Right now, all we see is just that the market broke, and then let me just adjust this right here real quick. Let's just adjust that. Then she broke, but then never gave us a good continuation to go all the way up, down. Yeah, up. The screen is flipped. Come on, man. So yeah, this is a key level 2. Let's mark that. And now remember, we have this level right. I think let's use a different tool. We have this level right here, correct? That's a good retracement too. Now we understand that today we are incorporating ICT, SMC, and trend line, something like that. Now what do we see over here? To my knowledge, that this is like an impulse. Now all this to me is like a correction, so we might continue going up, but then that will only happen once we understand what price is doing, once we understand price movement. So we might call that also as an impulse zone, whichever order block. So I'll go to the H4 real quick and now dig in deep based on that. Right now, if you look at another level right here, this was also a certain key zone right here. I think that will make more sense when we go to lower time frame, and that is what we should be doing real quick right there. Correct, we have this, and of course we also have this, so I think we should just adjust it and have it right there, have it around that zone order block. Right, good. Now we are going to incorporate another trend right there, and maybe something like this. That's why I say, guys, when you are trading this ICT and SMC, always try to incorporate trends sometimes, so that you can get probably what price is trying to do. Now I'll flip it back, but then before we flip that, what do you see? There's this possibility that the market is creating a left shoulder right there. This is a probably head, and now a right shoulder. Boom, correct. Now I'll flip it back. I hope you guys can see. I think yesterday or the other day we had news coming in. That's why we have that amazing or that huge drop. So yeah, I was saying this is an anticipated something like this, right? So with that, let's just go to the 15 minutes, and before we go to the 15, let's just mark this right there. And why am I marking this level? Because those are beginning of what's this? Those are the beginning of impulse phases, right? So if we have impulse, like I say, every time the market creates an impulse, there's always an anticipation for the market to come back and give us a correction. So this is an impulse, then we wait for correction right there, then understand price reaction, look for our entry, or sometimes the market might continue retracing and come back around that level, then we look for our entry property, right? So yeah, I'll hit the 15 real quick and see what price has for us. Correct. Now if you look at the 15, basically we are trying to add trend line to our ICT analysis right there. I hope you guys can see that. I don't need that now. It's just the same thing we repeat right here. This is the beginning of an impulse phase right there. So we mark that. If you want, you don't need to mark. I'm just trying to come on, that's impulse. I'm just trying to make you guys understand what I'm trying to do right there. So basically all this is just like an impulse, and now probably the market is giving us a correction right there. So we have an anticipation. If this is an impulse, then correction, probably the moment we see a break, then I think that's also another confirmed head and shoulder, which is an inverse head and shoulder right there. So that is what I'm looking for on GBPUSD, guys. And once again, if you want to get funded, if you don't have enough trading capital, guys, I do recommend you to check out FundedNext. I will be leaving link in the description, and if you don't see it in the description, guys, go to the comment section, and I think you'll find the links there. Also, if you want to join my Telegram channel, link should also be in the description, guys. So I send this kind of analysis for you guys to follow along, right? And I think that's all for today, and adios amigos. Peace. All the best.